So again, I know for our lovely Miss F, we do sometimes get a little excited, and we've been dealing with sort of mouthiness at times with mom, she mentioned, and sort of this jumping behavior. So I want to see if we can, again, practice a little bit with getting her a little excited. And then from there, going right into a sit. Yes. If, again, she gets too jazzed, do a find it to add some wiggles. Get some extra energy out. Yes. And then that way, as you're trying to generalize these little skills and get her a little excited, ready, sit, yes. You can start to help her be able to work through that excitement or arousal. Nice. So then you can even start making it more into a little loose leash walking without gear. Yeah. So remember, if sometimes you don't know what you'd rather have your babe do, obviously there might be times where I know she's going to give me old behavior, which would be her jumping up. Nice, find it. So you may find that obviously as she's working through her big girl skills, yes, she's going to start to figure out which ones give her more of a benefit than the previous. So if when you're working with your lovely lady, remember that everything has a bank account. So if, for example, when you get excited, sits can maybe happen. Yeah, nice job. That might start to become her default position, saying, hey, I'd really be interested. So if we get a little excitement, back to our sit. Yes. You may find that at times she's going to go through some of her old behavior before she masters the new stuff. But if, let's say, for example, as you're sometimes trying to generalize these skills, you'll sometimes also on purpose try to get her excited to then come back from it. So I might try and add a little bit of wiggles. Ready? Oh my gosh, what a good girl. Ready? Find it. So she's like, lady, I lost it. So if, let's say, sometimes she gets too excited, break it down into smaller steps. Sometimes you go a little bit faster. Yes. And for that softness, oh, I dropped a nice big chunk. How was that? Delicious. So again, then we start again. Yes. So I sometimes do this almost like a Simon Says. So I know we did this earlier, so she would start to reorient to you. Ready? Sit. Yes. But I'm going to also see if she can start to automatically give me some sits versus me asking for them. So if she's a little eager beaver, we're just going to see. Oh, smart woman, good decisions. Ready? Find it. So right there, she was thinking about jumping, but then she went right into that sitting position. So if she has a little bit of a moment, again, either ignore or see if you can ask her for that little sit. Yes. So I know that, again, with the babes, sometimes you're going to have what's called an extinction burst. So that would be where if, let's say, for example, one behavior got her a lot of benefits, and now all of a sudden we decided we didn't love the behavior and we want her to do something else, she might actually go through what's called an extinction burst, which is, let's say, for example, she might not like tennis balls as much, and that's okay. But let's say, for example, your pup has been doing a lot of jumping and they get a lot of negative yes or positive attention for it. Your babe might start to think that there is value in doing that because it gets them another thing from you. So now let's say you completely ignore or you ask her to do something else. She might then have an even bigger outburst of something similar that she was doing, like the jumping, but it gets exaggerated. There's mouthing, there's barking, there's sort of some wilder behavior. What might be going on there is more of an extinction burst. So you're changing her mindset from this used to work to now it doesn't, and then she gets frustrated. So sometimes behaviors almost get worse before they get better. So if you are dealing sometimes with some of these moments where you're like, gosh darn it, I thought we had this down pat, and now all of a sudden she's exploding again, it could be that she's starting to realize, oh, this doesn't work for me anymore. I'm a little flustered and frustrated. But if you keep on track and you start to only give reinforcement, praise, or whatever she finds appealing for the right behavior, those other behaviors start to have less value, and then they become extinct. Extinct. There we go. So we want to make sure that whenever we're practicing with our little lady is that it's within her comfort range. So if we know there are certain things that are really hard for her, break it down into smaller steps and make sure it's something she could then be able to attain within that setup. If company's really hard, you might start off with puzzle toys or lick mats or slow feed bowls and a leash on, and then have her in the other side of the home and bring her into the bubble as she's getting more comfortable and more reliable. Nice. So right now, just being near me and choosing to keep the bum on the floor or all four on the floor, ready, sit, would be what I'm looking for from her. Nice. So I just keep at it. Again, all the babes have been doing such a great job throughout the weeks. So just keep rocking and rolling. Obviously, if you have any questions or concerns, I know I sent along some extra materials that were from previous, but you can also look over some of the materials that other students had done in previous Doggy Day School setups. And you might find, gee, you know what? My puppy was also struggling with something like that, and then that video might be helpful too. But you can always reach out with a question or concern. There we go, that's what I want to see. And start to keep me updated on your progression or your difficulties. And we may find maybe to jump into another program or to work a few other different skills might realign your goal for both you and your babe. But I'd say all in all, Miss F did a splendid job with her skill set, and she's really coming along nicely. So we'll get another little sit, and then we'll give her a little breather. Ready? We'll do another little find it. Good job, cuteness.